Welcome back to Soul. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I hope that you're having a great week so far. Today's episode was inspired by a conversation I was having with a really good friend of mine, and he asked me a very interesting question this week. Let me start with a little backstory. I turned 30 last year, and if you're a woman listening, you know the kind of pressure we start facing, not just biologically, but especially socially. There's this unspoken clock ticking where suddenly everyone wants to know when you're going to settle down. But what my friend asked me wasn't about settling down. He asked me, at what age would you consider settling? And that question really made me pause. Because settling down and settling are two completely different things. Settling down is beautiful. It means you feel stable, grounded, or like you're ready to feel stable and grounded, like you almost know where your feet are. It's a state of life where you feel ready for something new, a relationship, a home, a pet, a career move, children, a family, whatever it might be for you. Settling down is cool. It's a constant and not a compromise. And again, no one really feels 100% settled down all the time, right? But settling is different. Settling feels like giving something up. Often it's your happiness, your independence, or your dreams, just because of pressure. And that pressure can come from society, from your friends and peers, your family, even your own inner fears. When my friend asked me at what age I'd consider settling, not settling down, but settling, my first instinct was a lot of sadness. Because as men, first of all, like getting asked this question, men don't really get asked this question. But as women, we do have to think about this question in ways that men often don't. To my male listeners, I invite you to take this moment to recognize how different this pressure can feel for your female friends, partners, or family. Now, of course, there are other pressures that oftentimes are attributed to men more than women, and we will absolutely talk about those another time. Going back to the question, I've really thought about it deeply. What I realized is the answer is never. Settling is not an age thing. It's a mindset thing. I would never willingly give up my happiness just to tick a box. And I say this to you. Whether it's relationships, careers, homes, please don't settle for something that dulls your spirit. Life is way too full of magic for that. Now, I have seen people settle for other reasons. Think financial security, for a timeline, sometimes even for external validation. And a lot of times it's just to tick a box. Some are content, some are incredibly happy, but some are also deeply unhappy. And the reality is, when we settle, we're often sacrificing the very things that make life joyful. Our spark, our purpose, our happiness. I want to give you my example here. I was just thinking about my life when I answered never, and I realized my life is full of love, it's full of friendships, a great career. We are blessed to live in an age where we've got free information, free education available at our fingertips. If you are someone who makes good money, you are also given the privilege to give back. We can do so much with what we have, and that can give us purpose. That can give us our spark. That builds the happiness. Happiness is ultimately just a life that is full of love, so that everything you do in life comes from a place of love. But to settle for something where you have no love, just to tick a box. And I kept thinking, well, what that means is a husband and children, but is there going to be happiness? Is it coming from a place of love or from a place of lack? And that, by the way, is how generational trauma starts, right? Like, why would you get kids into something where maybe there's not love? And then you don't want to keep going with that. I recently came across a quote from someone who got married. I think it was a celebrity. I can't remember who it was, but they said, "I have never been more in love with myself than when I am with them." Now that is worth not settling for. If you take anything away from this episode, let it be this. Settle down when you're ready, but never settle for less than what lights you up inside. Now, I know that I gave relationships as an example, the marriage, the kids, because again, I'm talking about the perspective of a 30-year-old. But this goes for you. And again, whether you're a man or a woman or, whoever you are, basically, whoever is listening out there, this also goes for your career. A job is fine because a job is something that's temporary, but a path, right? Your career, your partner, your home, where you want to be, who you want to surround yourself with. You deserve a life that makes you feel alive. Now, I'd love for you to take this as food for thought and maybe let it linger a little bit in your mind. Anything that we do in life, remember, step by step, day by day. Thank you very much for joining me. Take care of yourself and remember, please, don't you dare settle for less than you are worth and less than magic in this world. And I will see you next week on Soul.